Hey, this is Jamie at Useful Knowledge. Well, it's finally turning cooler here in North Alabama. So that means one thing, fall cake. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you exactly how to make a fall cake using unbleached all-purpose flour. Okay, to get started, we need cake flour. I used unbleached all-purpose flour to make my cake flour. And all you have to do is just add in some cornstarch. This is 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour and 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now the reason I use unbleached flour is my wife has an allergy to bleached flour. To make your cake flour, we're just going to put our cornstarch in with our all-purpose flour and we're going to mix it up. Now here comes the only really hard part about this cake, making cake flour. So you got to sift it. Alright, so we're going to sift this, and you got to sift it 4 to 5 times. It's going to take you about a minute to do it all. We're just going to swap back and forth between pans. Okay, here's everything you're going to need to make this fall cake. So remember, we made our cake flour. If you didn't want to make your own cake flour, you're going to use slightly more than 1 1/3 cups of cake flour. But we made this cake flour out of 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour and 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. You're going to need 5 egg yolks. The reason I use egg yolks, it's going to make the cake more moist. Egg whites are actually a drying agent. You need a cup of sugar. We're going to use 1 1/3 cups of apple juice. We've got a cup of oil here. Then you've got a tablespoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of clove, a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring. Okay, if you hadn't done so at this point, go ahead and turn your oven on to 350 degrees. So what we're going to do first, we're going to mix up everything except our cake flour and our apple juice. So we're going to put in our sugar, put in our egg yolks, oil, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, our salt, baking powder, and vanilla flavoring. We're going to mix this up for about 1 minute. Okay, it's been about a minute. We're just going to turn that off. Go ahead and use a spoon and get all this extra goodness off of here. Okay, next we're going to add in our apple juice and our cake flour. So if you've got a handheld mixer, go ahead and use your beaters. I find that on this KitchenAid that I can stir a cake up, actually beat a cake up, a lot better with the whisk. We're going to beat this for about 2 minutes. Okay, this has been going for about 2 minutes and we're going to turn it off. So about 2 minutes gets most of the lumps out of here. Don't sweat it if you have a few lumps still in there. That'll be okay. Okay, so I'm going to use a bundt pan to make this fall cake. And my favorite one to use is a Lodge cast iron bundt pan. Now in order for the cake to not stick, you need to spray this with some cooking spray that has flour in it. And it's also called like a baking cooking spray. So you want to get the outside, of course you want to get the bottom, and then the middle. Okay, so all we're going to do at this point is we're going to pour the batter in. Okay, we're ready to go. We're going to put this in the oven. Remember, that oven's on 350 degrees. It's going to go in the oven for about 40 minutes. Okay, we just took this out of the oven. This cooked for right at 40 minutes before it was ready. I did the toothpick trick on it just to make sure the toothpick would come out without anything actually wet on it. So basically, if cake flour is done, it won't stick to that toothpick. So we're going to let this cool down for about 10 to 15 minutes just so it separates some from this cast iron so we can get it out easily. Okay, I've let this cool down for about 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's separated from the cast iron bundt pan very nicely, so it's ready to come out. So what I'm going to do I'm just going to put a plate over this, and we're just going to turn it upside down. And there you go. So what we're going to do, we're just going to let this cool down for about another 5 minutes, and then we're going to cover it. Okay, so this has cooled down for about 5 more minutes. So what I like to do at this point is cover it. And what I use is just a big mixing bowl. Cover it like that. I'm going to let it sit all night and cool down slowly. It's going to retain the moisture. Now if you don't have another mixing bowl or a large mixing bowl to do this, you can just cover it with some aluminum foil so it will cool down slowly overnight. Okay, it's the next morning. So we hope you gained some useful knowledge on how easy it is to make fall cake. Happy fall, and thanks for watching.